I apologize for that. Doesn't really matter. This is not a required one.
I know.
So if people miss it, we'll record.
It's not mandatory. I just logged in.
So, hello? Can you hear me?
So, did you guys have your shoes?
Yes. So,
okay, excellent.
So this is a delayed gift. Yeah. It came back too late.
Why? Hold on.
No lo abras hasta que llegue. Wait, I actually want to record your reaction to this one.
What? Hold on, my toes.
All right. I may have to mute. We're going to have people, I guess.
You laughed a little too.
All right. So let's see. We've got Eric, Anthony, Karen, Du, Raymond. Let's see. Who else?
Calculus, can y'all come over?
And David.
What is it?
Bro, I am trying so hard to understand, and I still don't understand that. I have watched so many videos.
Okay.
When is it? Wednesday at work. Wednesday at 4. You out at 2.
You probably gonna come.
Not me. I need to stay over time.
You can still make it.
Hey, Karen, your mic's open. And you are muted, Ricky.
All right. We were just having a good time listening to Karen.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So, sorry, I had to reschedule that Zoom. I messed up the first one that I sent out, and I realized, I'm going to have to send that out again. So we can wait around for a few more people, maybe. I'm recording this, so it shouldn't matter too much. Our first one doesn't matter that much. Now this Zoom is for both sections. The rules are the same for all of you. Hopefully you've been following along. We have a few people who don't quite understand everything about the way this course works. I've gotten several emails from people who don't understand that this is there is a lecture portion of the lab. So there's the lab lecture, and then there's the lab part of the course, which also has a lecture. And I do just the lab. Dr. O'Brien will be doing the lecture part, which I know it sounds confusing, but there's a separate part that he does, and then there's a separate part that I do. Now, the thing why you want to care about me, he's in charge of everything, but why you want to be concerned about me is because I do all the grading. And so you need to understand my grading style, and I will do my best to get across to you what I think is important when you go to turn in those really long papers that we have due at the end of the semester. So how many of you, I assume most of you have at least looked at the syllabus and realized that there is this giant paper due at the end of the semester, right? Everybody, you know, most of you are muted there, but hopefully
I've looked at it.
you recognize that there's the giant paper. There are going to be several smaller ones that are going to build up to it. And how you need to approach this, I've taught this several times, is each of the TAs has a different method for, shall we say, evaluating your papers. And so some of us have specialties that are a little different than the others. For me, when I grade your papers, I have certain things that I consider important and others I may not. And the other TAs don't, and that sometimes rubs people the wrong way, but you have two professors and some of them measure what you do differently than others. And so they leave it up to me when you turn in that really giant paper. They say, how well did they do? Well, we've had people who were former English teachers in high school. They grade those papers differently than I do. I was a high school science teacher, but I was never an English teacher. So, you know, if you mess up grammatically, I am likely, okay, you do it 5 or 6 times through the paper. Yeah, I'm going to take off a point or two here. But somebody who was an English teacher might take off 10 points for doing that. That's not the, you know, so there are differences. Now, what you need to understand with me, I am primarily a statistician. So the thing that, usually probably is going to be a pet peeve of mine is if you do the statistics wrong. So I'll just warn you when you're doing the statistics, I will do everything I can to make for sure you understand it. I do my own videos. I think I linked you out to several videos, didn't I? Beyond the normal genetics. Yes, somebody talk. Do I need to unmute some people?
So, the only videos I believe that I've got received for you from a link was like a link to your YouTube channel.
Right. And so you got that link, and there are 2 main ones for this week, and then
Correct.
I gave you some suggested ones along the way. So I've given you, hopefully you realize that there are some things there. If you don't remember much of your genetics from like intro biology or something, there are several videos there to help refresh you. But the main 2 are the 2 I'm required to give you are from the PowerPoints from the 2 video. There were 1 set of PowerPoints and 2 videos, and hopefully you've all watched those at least, right?
Yes, I've watched
Yes.
the first 2 videos.
Okay. If you think you need a refresher, you might watch some of the others in that group, in the group called, I think I called it Genetics 3311. So
Okay,
what I'm trying to emphasize to you is I'm going to do my best to tell you what I think is important. And how you figure out what is important to me, besides just what I say, is how I grade your projects, WA 1 through 4. Now, they're not worth as much as WA 5. WA 5 is worth like, almost, a fourth to a third of your grade, if not more. I'm trying to remember the math there. But that's the one that counts. And hopefully you figure out along the way, okay, well, he doesn't care if I misspell a couple of things. He's not going to take off if I misspell 1 or 2 words. I'm going to run spell check on it just like any other person would. And if you're missing if you misspell a lot of things, I'm going to take off some points. But where I'm going to be more of a stickler is if you do the statistics incorrectly, whereas maybe another TA wouldn't. So I'll warn you there, do the statistics right, because I'm going to be checking that extra close. And if you say something that is incorrect statistically, I'm more likely to take off than maybe a TA that doesn't know as much statistics as I do. But I am going to do everything I can to warn you about that. And you need to ask questions about that. Like, how are you going to grade this? And feel free to bother me. That's your job as a student, is to find out how I'm going to grade it, really. And that's the key to this course, is for you guys to actually use me as a tool for you to get a good grade. All right? Does that, I'm trying to make that sound as, I don't know, cutthroat as possible, but that is the way you should see it, is that I'm the grader. I have the say on what your grade is for that big project, and you should then come to me and go, well, how are you going to grade this? And if it isn't clear, you need to ask me that. And that's what I'm here for, is to answer your questions. Normally, you can do that in person, but since of the COVID thing, you can't. So that means I am prepared to answer like 1 million emails, okay? And I'm ready for it. So ask away. We can do some Zoom sessions and maybe get some of them out. But you ask some questions, and I can post like questions that other people have had and try to answer them ahead of time. And I'll do as many videos as I can. I have several YouTube channels, and I've set up a playlist to try and help you guys out as much as I can. And I'll be making videos all through the semester. You'll probably get several videos, not just the 2 required ones. There are 2 that I'm required, or I shouldn't say 2. It's a video on the PowerPoints every week. So the department gives me a set of PowerPoints, and then I make a video, and you're supposed to watch it. And as we do labs and writing assignments, I'm also supposed to make videos explaining those to you in addition. But I will give you more, especially as we start grading the writing assignments. So you'll see in the syllabus, and I'll pull that up in a second, you'll see in the syllabus that there are things called WA1, WA2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the big grades, and those are the ones that I grade. So there are exams, and they're worth a lot too, but those are doctoral Bryant. So when it comes to the tests that you're going to do, you talk to Dr. O'Brien and his lecture. When it comes to the writing assignments and the lab work, what we classically would have called lab work, you talk to me. Is that clear? I mean, I'm not sure. It's really confusing because, to tell you the truth, the first time they explained it to me, I was confused as well. So don't be afraid if you're a little confused. It's just you have to keep track of who's doing what in this course, and I'm doing the writing assignments and the actual lab assignments, whereas Dr. O'Brien is doing the exams. Now, another problem is that there is the genetics class, not the genetics lab, but the genetics course, and that is totally separate from us with completely separate rules, and I believe at least a couple of sections of that are doing it synchronous. We are almost exclusively, except for a video like this, we are asynchronous, meaning I'm going to record things and then I'm going to post it, and then you're just going to react to those posts. Now I'm doing something like this synchronously just so that you can get a feel for me, get to know me, and don't be afraid of me. Email me. I want you to email me and just pester me all the time. That's what I'm getting paid for. So you do that, and you make sure you know how I'm going to grade your writing assignments. So if you want, just start talking. I'm going to go over the syllabus a little bit with you and go over the website, the Blackboard site with you a little. We are limited to 40 minutes, but at this point, please enter in, talk to me, ask questions, especially over what I just talked about. So I'm going to let you guys go for a second.
So, for starters, any video that you post is going to be on the YouTube channel, correct?
That's right. I'm going to put all my videos, including this. I am recording this right now, and I'm going to put that on the YouTube channel as well.
Okay. And then you mentioned about reacting to it. What do you
Yes.
mean by that?
Well, you watch this or you watch one of those and you like don't understand what I was talking about. Or you're like, wow, he used this term and I thought this term, meant this and he's using it this way. Is this important? Is this something that I'm writing my paper and there's something I have to put into the paper, like some references or something. How important is that? Some people wait till the last minute to write this thing and can't cover everything. So and what will happen, and it will happen to several of you, I hate to say, maybe not no one listening, but there are going to be several of you. We're going to wait a little too long to get started on this. It happens every semester, and you're going to be caught, and you're going to have to leave something out. And so you call me up and go, well, I have these 20 things. Which are the things that are the absolute most important? Do I leave out references? Do I leave out, the methods part? And I'll tell you right now, don't leave out the methods part, okay? That's one of the more important parts. But you'll have to skimp because you've got 2 hours to turn it in. And after that 2 hours, maybe it drops a letter grade no matter what. And a day after that, you get a 0 on it, and which will almost guarantee you an F. So, you're up against a wall. What do you do? And so you have to pester me to find out, okay, if I haven't been able, maybe you get COVID or something. Maybe you want to finish and, you've been sick, some other type of illness, but you still want to finish without getting it incomplete. What should I do in terms of the paper? Because the paper is going to take up a ton of time, and I'm just trying to warn you, not scare you so much as just start on it early. That's all I can tell you. Start on it early, and each writing assignment builds until you can use the parts of each writing assignment to put together the big one at the end. So if you don't do well on one, you probably need to go back and redo that part before you actually go on to writing assignment 5, because that's probably a piece of something important in writing assignment 5, which is the one that's worth so much. and you need to improve it, you come to me and go, how do I improve it? Those are the types of things I'm talking about. Sorry, I've been talking too much, but does that answer your question?
Yeah, I believe so. So would we have to do those reactions and make questions, etc.? Do we just post them to like as a comment on the YouTube video, or is it going to be sent to you through an email, Blackboard
Okay,
discussion?
they've left it open to me, and actually I'm pretty flexible, and I would like to post your comments and your concerns. Maybe I don't have to use your name, so I was thinking about a way I could do that. And actually what I was thinking was that after every big writing assignment, or maybe before it's due, it might be better to do it before it's due, as I get comments and questions, that I perhaps start making videos about each comment and question. That'd be a lot of videos. The other one might be I might make a some type of bulletin board and post questions and then put in the answers. That might be another way to do it. I'm open to suggestions from you guys because this is an online format and it needs to be interactive in certain ways and just for this to work. And I'm still working on all the tools they have here. There are a lot of tools that I wasn't aware of. We can do bulletin boards. At this point, if we don't do anything else, just send me an email and I will respond to you, and then you'll probably see me mention whatever the topic is on a video that I put out there for you to watch. So at this point, that's the way it's going to work. I would suggest send me an email and I'll start collecting questions, and at some point I'll collect them into a video that I make. So that's the way I'm working it right this minute. But that's going to be subject to change if that doesn't work very well. Does that help a little?
I think so.
Okay. I hope at least a little. I'm like I said, I'm trying. I like teaching. I like teaching in person much more than the online. But there are certain things that you can do online that you can't do in person. And one of them is, at least there's like a list. You know, everybody if you have to talk to me via email, there's this large recorded list of comments and questions from you that I can compile and send out to everybody in case they also had that comment or question. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Any other questions about how the course is set up, for instance, or maybe the difference between? I've had several people email me questions about is it asynchronous or synchronous and how that works. And the question is, this is primarily almost primarily an asynchronous, meaning we don't meet at any particular time. Like what we're doing right now is the odd sort of thing where we all get together at one time. But I thought we should do it at least a couple of times just to get to know one another. And for me to put out a video interacting with you. But we don't have to do any of this. And I know TAs that aren't doing this at all, but I felt we should. And I will post these if and when we have more of them, and try to get as much information across to you as possible. The one thing I wanted to make for sure was that you feel comfortable bothering me. Do not feel uncomfortable sending me emails, just every day or something. I mean, I hope you don't have to do that. It means I'm probably doing something wrong if you're sending me an email every day. But, send me emails, tell me what you're not, quite comfortable with. What does this mean? How do I do this? I'm going to be there. We're online. You can do it. Just send me emails. I will respond, and I'll collect all those questions, and that'll help other people as well, I hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's very helpful, seeing as this is actually my first time taking online courses.
Well, I will tell you that I have taken online courses myself, and most online teachers don't do that. And
no, they don't.
Okay, I'm not going to do that to you guys. I have been like, you never talk to the instructor at all. It's all just worksheets and maybe a few videos. They send you and read the book and take the test. And I'm going, well, what did that professor actually do? They didn't do anything. They just, gave you the tests and you took them. And,
I agree.
I am not going to do that to you, and I will be here to actually help you through it, especially this class.
I was going to say, this is a tough one.
Not an easy class. I don't want to scare you, but you got to starting to write. There's a lot of writing in this class, and that final paper is going to creep up on you, and you're going to need to collect a lot of data, and you're going to put that into these shorter assignments, and then at the end, you collect all those writing assignments, and what you do is you pull things out of those, and you put them into the larger assignment at the end with a conclusion about what you found. So that's kind of how this course works. And since we do not have a laboratory for you to actually manipulate flies, etc., we've come up with some alternatives that are online. Are they as good as the being in the lab? Oh, not even close. But we have replaced some of it with bioinformatics, and that's a separate discipline that is the computer application to biological problems. So in a way, we've upgraded the class to something a little bit more modern. And bioinformatics is my expertise. I have taught the course at U of H myself. So I'm the expert, and that's now half of the class. So I can help you. I'll probably be helping other sections as well. But the idea is for you guys, you have my complete attention. And since that's half of the class now, I should be better able to explain it to you than maybe some of the other TAs. Hopefully I will. But we will be doing a lot of that, and that will be in your paper as well. And that'll be towards the end. And that'll probably be the part that you have the most questions on.
Yeah. I've been working about is making sure that we can find all our data and such that we need for this. Since I've never used Flybase before. I've never actually heard of it. And I was looking forward to caring for some of the flies in the lab when I was last looking at it. Because I already care for like 40 tarantulas and have a
you wanted to play with their flies.
Yeah.
Well, they're very time consuming. So at least in this online version, probably you won't have to spend as much time. There are people who easily spend 20 hours a week taking care of their flies.
Yeah.
At least certain points of the semester where you have to be in here every couple of hours in the lab to check on your flies when they're breeding. You won't have that this semester because we're not going to be able to breed flies.
Correct.
So that means we have to do something else. So it's all going to be data driven this semester. And in other words, we're doing a little bit more molecular genetics instead of what we call classical genetics. Classical genetics is what Mendel did. Hopefully everybody knows Mendel from Bio 101. So instead of doing what Mendel does, we're actually, in a way, updating the class so that you're doing what people do today. They generally don't go around breeding peas anymore. They do breed flies, and we're doing flies, but more often than not, they're doing a lot more data analysis. And so you'll get a little bit more of that and a little bit less of the other. And you won't get any experience, though, handling the flies yourself, I'm afraid. There was just no way to do this with COVID going on. There wasn't enough lab space, and there was, to distance, and the interaction needed with your lab mates to do the flies was not feasible. The CDC guidelines just said, no, you just can't teach this class. So they had to find something else. All right.
I just want to clear up some things this week that I had questions about. So for the assignments this week, all we need to do is just watch the 2 videos. Do we need to do any assigned readings on the lab manual to get a head start?
Let me make it clear. What I assign is different from what Dr. O'Brien assigns. And if I am not mistaken, he has assigned some readings, but that is on his side, not on mine. And so when I go over the PowerPoints, I will often go over those as well. And they should be in the PowerPoints, and they should also be coming out from emails from him. And they absolutely, what I'm about to show you is they should be posted on Blackboard. So just because I don't necessarily mention it, or maybe I only mention it once, That doesn't mean there aren't other assignments that are coming from that portion of the class. I
Okay,
will
so
be
for
covering.
lab,
Does that make sense?
yes. So for lab, this week is just to watch 2 YouTube videos that you
That's right.
posted
From me,
on your side.
right. From
Do you know
me
when will be assigned
personally, it's watch
mutation?
2 videos. However, there may be reading assignments coming from Blackboard. All right. Now I'm going to go over the Blackboard with you, so I'm going to make for sure that you have read through what's due this week. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Do we get assigned mutations, or is that on the lecture side? And also, is there anything we need to do before starting working with Flybase?
Okay. So wait, say that again. What was the first thing you asked?
Oh, I asked if we get assigned mutations, because I know some other
yes.
TAs are assigning mutations like
Yes,
right
we're
now.
ready to assign mutations, and I will you'll get them as an email from me, or which I probably should go ahead and do that right tonight or tomorrow, and you can get working on that. The mutations are one thing. The other thing are the writing assignments. If you have any questions about it, you just email me and I will clarify. But yeah, I need to send out your mutations. You're correct.
And is there a tutorial about how to use Flybase?
Okay, now that's coming. We're not there yet, but that's coming.
Okay. And I noticed your information and everything wasn't on the SharePoint that Dr. O'Brien had with all the TAs.
That's because somebody screwed up with my account, and I can't do certain things that are the other can't. In a couple of weeks, maybe I will. They're working on it on the IT side, but I'm a YouTube guy, so I will. I'll fix that. And they've told me that it's going to get fixed this weekend, but I know how things are working. It takes about twice as long as they think, so I'm thinking it'll get fixed next week. But eventually, that will. I'll be up there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but I'll talk to Dr. O'Brien. Maybe I can just send him an email, and I can't put it up there. So maybe I'll just send him an email, and he'll put it up there himself. But at this point, I can't do it. But does that help?
Yes, that was helpful.
Okay, and I'll need to get out the mutations soon. But I'll go over the website with you. All right, let me do that real quick before we run out of time, okay? Let me share the website and talk about it, and then we'll just hold the questions to the end. So let me show you. This is what you should be seeing as a student. Hopefully everybody has seen this. He gives you a welcome and several documents to read. He talks a little bit about the class and the general syllabus, where you learn about things like WA1 and WA2 through 5. 5 is the big one. Okay, we've only got 10 more minutes here. Let's see. This is Dr. O'Brien's lecture. You should have watched that. I don't know if you have or not, but that's separate from mine. So I have my 2 lectures. He has a lecture that he goes over the syllabus with you. Hopefully you've watched it. How many of you have watched it? Just speak up.
Okay, I was curious. So that's where the lectures are. They're on the Blackboard. There's no file that says these are the lectures.
No, it's right here. So Dr. O'Brien has a lecture here where he talks about the syllabus specifically,
okay,
and what he's doing, and that's separate from what I do, so you need to watch his.
Okay.
All right. And
yeah,
then
that is...
here he has another document. This is actually a docx, but there should be, well, he just wants you to read it. He should have a video somewhere.
Yeah, the syllabus overview lecture looks like it's a video.
Okay, that's where his video is.
And right. It was just going over the syllabus because I sat there and read over the syllabus, so I wasn't.
Okay.
sure if that was actually the lecture that was going to go on. I guess my
that was
scheduled
his
time was
lecture for
Wednesday.
the week. He'll probably have lectures just like I did. I went through some PowerPoints. He's going to go over other material besides those PowerPoints.
Okay.
All right, and here's one. Oh, here's his lecture. Okay, a video of the syllabus. Your first assignment. All right, and I don't. You'll have to. This is a mandatory assignment due by the 30th. So if you guys have 2 more days to do this, whatever he has out there for you. All right, he wants to know about you. So I assume I do this all the time as well. I send out like an email going, hey, tell me something about yourself. Tell me, you know, why you're taking it, what you're doing, what you want to do in 10 years, something like that. So he wants you to do that. So you guys need to do that because it's due the 30th if you see that. Do you everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to do that. That's an assignment from him, not from me, but it is part of this class. It's kind of hard because essentially you have 2 bosses, and I've been in jobs where I have 2 bosses. It's really hard to figure out what your priorities are when you have 2 bosses. So I'm trying to take that into consideration. He's the big boss. I'm the lesser boss, but I'm the one who gives you a grade. So I don't know, am I the one who's more important to you or not, since I'm the one who grades your papers that count most of your grade. So it's you have to figure that out, I guess, on your own. So here is your submission link for your conversation with the professor, where you submit the answers to whatever he's asking here. Here are some tips and strategy he gives you, but that's all I see for this week. So as far as coming from him, that's it. All right, what you see here. So you make for sure you go over and you discuss these things with him, sending your email having to do with your comments or whatever he wants you to answer about yourself. So any comments about that at this point? No? All right.
Oh, I'm good here. That explained what I needed. What I was looking for specifically.
Yeah, I understand this has got to be confusing because essentially we do a better job of it when we're in person, but when it's just a bunch of emails, it's kind of like, what's going on here? And then you go to this website and it's somebody else. And so you have to understand that he does one part and he's head of the laboratory system here that we've got going for genetics. So he's teaching you a certain set of skills. I'm what would normally be your TA for the in class, what we interact in class. Well, unfortunately, that has disappeared and it's all online. So I'm the person who is doing what would normally have been done in class, but that's online, what he does online. So it's almost like we're doing the same thing, but there are 2 different sets of information. They're close, they're tied together, but they are 2 different sets of information that you're having to work with. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is confusing. It absolutely is. And then, of course, if you were taking the actual course, the genetics course, that's another set of information that you have to worry about that has completely separate rules.
I've already gone through genetics.
Okay. So if you've done that, you don't have to worry about it. There are other people who are taking them concurrently at the same time. They're having to figure out if these 2 classes are connected, and they are not connected very closely at all. In fact, they're not connected. So it's like it's genetics lab, but it's not connected to genetics course or lecture at all, which is different from other courses. All right. I think we're about to run out of time and it's going to cut me off. If I need to, I'll do another one of these and we'll get more people on because I know I had messed up with the link earlier and you had to go get that email and relink. So I may do another one of these and please just send me emails and don't feel bad about sending me emails and I will get right back to you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And there are a couple of things I need to get out to you, and I will probably post every Sunday at the latest Monday PowerPoint lectures. I will go. My requirement is that I have to go through those PowerPoints with you, so I will post usually on Sundays, maybe Mondays, but probably Sundays, those PowerPoints for the next week. and that will have instructions for what you need to do the following during that week for me. All right. It may include, if I can, I may just go ahead and add in the things that Dr. O'Brien wants you to do too, just because that may make it clearer for everybody. But that's kind of the plan at this point.
Okay. Michael in the chat. Yeah, the writing assignments are through the lab, and so it's through Ricky. The tests are strictly from the professor.
That's right.
The doctor.
Yeah. So I am the one who grades your writing assignments. If that makes sense to you. Yes?
Yep, he said thank you, it looks like on chat.
Okay, yeah. All right, guys. Let's end it, and I will see you probably again. I will have office hours probably Mondays, probably around 10 o'clock, I'm thinking. And that will be just an open time that I'll just maybe leave the Zoom open. And if you want to like click in every Monday at that time and talk to me, that's fine. And those will be my office hours. And if you want a private Zoom, just talk to me. Now, that's something that, don't do that every day. But if you need a private Zoom, I'll be happy to do a private Zoom with you. Just not every day,
Okay.
But if you need it, if you want to ask me some questions, probably about your paper or something that you're not clear on, try to do it by email. If it doesn't work with email, we'll do a Zoom.
Okay. More than likely Monday is going to be like watching the lectures that you post for me.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything Monday, and so no classes then. So seems like a good day to start.
Okay. All right, everybody. Well, good luck. And I hope I didn't scare you too much about how hard this class is. But people do get scared when they hear that there's such a large writing assignment. A lot of times people have never written a paper as large as the one that you're going to be writing, and that scares them. And don't be scared because we kind of work our way up to it. We work with, okay, here we're doing 4 or 5 pages, and then we're taking that and we're turning it into 10 pages, and we're taking that, turn it into 15, and then finally you're kind of taking it all together and adding some other parts to it until it gets up large enough for you to turn it into a big 20-page paper. If you really, that's kind of the way it works. All right. Well, I think this was reasonably productive. I hope it's clear. That's all I can hope for. And if you do have questions, just email me.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you can see this. I'm recording this.
Yes.
So you should be able. I'll post this, assuming that the quality is halfway decent. I'll post it, and you'll be able to rewatch it if you need to.
Okay.
All right. See you guys later then.
Yep. Thank you very much. I look forward to spending the semester with you.
All righty.